Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to be a title that was going to revolutionize the gaming sphere for decades. Without a doubt, I don't think I've ever seen a form of media entertainment with such an extensive and sensational marketing entourage, marketing team that was able to push this game to become the magnus opus of what gaming and what gaming truly has to offer to its customers. Now, unfortunately, as we all know, it's been years since the fated release of Cyberpunk 2077, and many things have happened. There have been updates after updates, issue after issue, bug after bug, and complaint after complaint. But in today's video, I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about the experience that Cyberpunk 2077 was able to deliver to its customers, bugs or not. This is going to be a deep dive at the narrative, the characters, and the overall experience that Cyberpunk was able to give us as a gamer. For me personally, I chose a more sensible decision after hearing about the outrage of many players experiencing multiple performance issues, particularly as I was also on the PlayStation 4 platform. I chose to bide my time and wait for multiple bug fixes to come. So this is going to be just a conversation, a discussion with me and you about how Cyberpunk 2077 was able to make me and you feel. Now, in the beautiful world that we live in, there's a whole lot of ways to spend your time, a lot of ways for you to entertain yourself. There are so many things for you to delve into and truly sit back, relax, and enjoy. And for me, gaming is one of my absolute favorites. Now, if we juxtapose that to one of my other favorites, music. In my personal opinion, if a song isn't able to move me or make me feel some sort of emotion, nostalgia, happiness, sadness, something, it needs to evoke some sort of emotion within me for me to relate to it and for that song to be something special or memorable to me. That's why personally I also truly enjoy anime, movie, and TV series soundtracks, because it's able to take me back to a very special moment in that television show, and I'm able to essentially take that soundtrack and make it to become the soundtrack of my own life. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 was marketed and shown to us to give us a unique experience that was going to change gaming forever. Now, they weren't able to hit the mark in that sense, in the many other factors of the game, including the gameplay, the performance, and a lot of other factors. But in terms of the narrative, I feel that they truly did something very special. Now, we of course know CD Projekt Red is well versed in creating a narrative-driven experience with their experience with the Witcher games. And some people may not give them the credit they deserve, is, of course, what they built upon was based upon a well-founded book series that was created long before them and a character that existed for many, many years. So all they had to do was essentially take something that was set in stone and put their own personal twist to it. Now, I give absolute respect to the writers and the narrative leads for them to create and tailor such an interesting experience, such an authentic cast that feels real in a world that doesn't even exist. Now, if you haven't noticed as yet, this will definitely include spoilers. If you've played the game, let's dive right into it. If you haven't, hey, I would recommend that you definitely go ahead and play Cyberpunk 2077. Despite the various issues that the game has, it definitely has something special, and it's something you will regret missing out on. It's definitely going to subvert your expectations. Now let's get right into it. Now, if we consider the characters that Cyberpunk 2077 has, what I'll give them absolute credit for was their ability to make it feel authentic. The authenticity in Cyberpunk is unmatched, and it speaks greatly onto the characters that they have here. Characters such as Johnny Silverhand, out of all of them, could possibly the only one that's perhaps the weakest character, which is surprising as we spend the most time with him. But it's kind of intentional as well, as he seems to be a character that's just larger than life itself, and a man that led to his own demise in a sense. But the authenticity of somebody like Jackie, his death, even though we knew about it, we saw it in the trailers, I was genuinely shocked at how much his death was able to move me. Truly a great character. The authenticity, the brotherhood that you have there as you are playing as V is palpable. He felt like a real homie, a man that you could rely on undoubtedly after just knowing him only for an hour of playtime. And out of all of the characters that I had in Cyberpunk 2077, he's definitely one of my favorites for sure. Now, considering the other characters that we have and that we interact with, I'd say him, Jackie, number one. Second would be perhaps Panam, Misty, and then the last one would be Judy for sure. Now, I'll be honest with you, the narrative of Cyberpunk 2077 did something special. Now, of course, there are a huge amount of exciting and crazy story beats that we go through in this game. But firstly, I'll start with, for me personally, which I define as the climax of the game. Maybe a hot take, as it is only the prologue, is when we go and steal the chip from Arasaka Tower. That entire mission is absolutely sensational. Now, of course, I understand that we don't even have all the cybernetic gear unlocked to us, but the amount of stakes, the pressure, the excitement that was involved in that mission was amazing. The set pieces, the things that you go through, to this day, it will be my most memorable and most exciting mission in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, the ambience of this entire narrative experience is special. It's subverted. When you watch the trailers, you think you're going to be fighting this fun, cool, crime drama, fighting as a criminal, working your way up, and finally reaching the top. But when you find out what the true story of Cyberpunk 2077 is, you are shocked. Absolutely shocked. And I think it's very interesting that the themes that they were trying to link between Night City itself and the story you are facing. After I completed Cyberpunk, I felt empty. And I thought it was interesting as that's the idea that they were pushing forth Night City itself. A city filled with millions and millions of people, but empty is all. When I found out that I was dying as V, I was genuinely shocked. You could feel the emotions running through the screens. You could feel it all. You could feel like, whoa, is there really no hope for me? Like, after losing Jackie, you're thinking, ooh, it can't get any worse than this. What? I am dying myself? But the game does something very, very special. It gives you nuggets and nuggets of hope throughout the narrative experience. As you go from mission to mission, character to character, as you explore Night City, as you meet new people, you're always given a nugget of hope, a new lead to keep you going down this rapid race of trying to save your life. You've given the contact details of the Arasaka professor that could possibly have the key to saving you. And he sends you on another wild goose chase, and another one, and another one, and another one, until you reach the end. This narrative experience completely subverts your expectations. If you've played the multiple Grand Theft Auto game, or if you've played open world game in the past decade, a lot of things always happen in the story, but it always tends to pan out well for the majority of the main character without a doubt. But Cyberpunk chose to go in a different direction. You can try, struggle and struggle, but you are still doomed to fail. The only thing that you can truly change is the impact that you have on the characters around you, or the impact that you never have. with the characters around you. They're different endings, of course, and in my personal favorites, it definitely is the star ending, where you leave the city with Pan Am and the rest of the nomads. While it is still a bittersweet ending of you leaving and finally saying goodbye to Johnny Silverhand, I truly think that it is the most satisfying ending. They say it's hope that kills you, but there's something special about this one. You feel like you've let go of everything you've experienced and you've seen everything that Night City has to offer you, but you still realize that none of that truly matters. All that really matters are the people that are close to you, the relationship with the people that are your friends, the people that you love, the friends that become your brothers, the friends that become your sisters, and the people that you fall in love with. And in this case, it was Pan Am, and we set off into the sunset in hopes of a cure. And whether V survives his ordeal, whether he does find a way to save himself, we don't know. But what I know for sure is that the final 3 months of life that he has left, he'll spend with the people he loves and cares about, in a place that's free, living on his own terms, and no longer under a city that looks to kill him and hurt him at his every move, at peace. The best form of media entertainment has the ability to move you, make you feel something, evoke an emotion from you. I'm someone who you wouldn't generally consider someone that's emotional, but I'd say songs that truly touch the heartstrings, or a game or story or experience, one of the few things that are able to evoke emotions within me. And those are always going to be the most memorable and thought-provoking experiences that you have in life and outside of your real life experiences. And there are only 2 games that have given me this feeling after completing them. A sense of sadness, a sense of emptiness. The last time I felt this way was when I played The Last of Us Part 1. I felt empty. Even though I'd completed the experience, even though by the end of the story the 2 main characters were still alive, there was a sense of emptiness to it, like a confusion, like it's over. What has transpired? I've been moved. What in the world has happened? And I felt the same way with Cyberpunk 2077. For someone that expected a fun and cool journey, my expectations were absolutely subverted. I was tossed and thrown into a world filled with depression, sadness, death. In a world, an open world style that's filled with parody, satire, done so mainly by Rockstar Games in the GTA 5 series. It was a breath of fresh air that game chose to sadden me, that the game chose to give me hope and crush my dreams at the end. It felt like everything that we were fighting for by the end of it truly meant nothing. But I guess that's what it means to be a struggler. If I think of the plight of V, it brings me back to a manga that I so much hold dear to my heart, Berserk. Guts is a character that ever pushes forward, even though he is doomed to fail, but he keeps on pushing forward. He keeps moving forward. And that's why he's gained the name of Struggler. And that's what I would call V, my main character. Being pushed forward by hope, a dream to become a legend, dream to become something special, a dream to survive. And throughout that dream, he found the most special people and the worst people that he'd ever experienced in life. But at the end of this entire experience, I felt empty. The nuggets of hope that were being dropped by the story started to dissipate, and all we were left with was emptiness. That's how Cyberpunk 2077 made me feel. And if you're somebody who hasn't yet taken the plunge and chosen to, I would absolutely recommend that you go ahead and jump into it. Or if you've already played Cyberpunk before, jump into it again, give it a second playthrough, rethink it. If you hated it in the beginning, rethink it again, look at it from this perspective, look at it at a deeper level. Cyberpunk did something special, something that games rarely ever do, and that's something to be commended. Thank you, CD Projekt Red, for trying to do something that could be remembered for ages.